Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks, and every day I bring you the top stories making headlines in Israel. And today's top story is basically follow on the week's top story, which is the escalation between the IDF and Hamas in Gaza. Now, just to recap the events of the week, a rocket was fired from the Gaza Strip, reaching its furthest destination into Israel and destroying a home in Mishmeret. This is slightly north of the town of Kfar Saba. 7 family members were injured, and in response to this, Israel attacked strategic targets within the Gaza Strip. There has been an exchange of fire from terror elements within the Strip and the IDF, who have been targeting these strategic terror outposts. Now, where we are currently is that the country is bracing for tomorrow. Tomorrow marks the 1-year anniversary of the so-called March of Return. Now, Hamas launched these marches, or rather riots, on the border a year ago, and we are bracing ourselves for what they are calling the Million-Man March on the border. Hamas have closed schools in the Gaza Strip and have encouraged children to participate in the march. Now, these are not marches or peaceful protests as they would have you believe. These are very, very violent riots. We've seen them over the last year with the burning of tires, which has created an ecological disaster, the sending of incendiary devices over the border to destroy valuable farm and agricultural and nature reserve land. Things have, or these riots have gotten violent, and there has been a significant exchange of fire at times. You will remember the peak day was the day that the US opened their embassy in Jerusalem, and it culminated in 50 Hamas operatives being killed, although Hamas claimed that they were innocent civilians. On further inspection, it was found they weren't. 50 out of 60 Palestinians killed that day were Hamas operatives. Hamas have also been using their civilian population as human shields during these riots, because they know that the pictures of any civilian casualties gets them the empathy and the sympathy of the world. Also, we have to understand that Hamas have stated their intentions, and their intentions are not peaceful. They have stated time and again that they want to rip through the border, and in the words of Yahya Sinwar, a Hamas leader, they want to rip the hearts out of the Jews and eat them. These are not the words of peaceful people. So at the moment, there is a very, very heavy IDF presence on the border with Gaza in anticipation of what could be renewed violence tomorrow. Earlier on today, we heard reports that the IDF with drone technology had shot down more incendiary devices. The Egyptian government, along with the Israelis, have stated that in order for there to be a ceasefire, in order for there to be any kind of calm for calm, we need an end to these riots, we need an end to the rockets that have been launched from Gaza into Israel, and we need an end to these incendiary devices being sent over the border. So Israel braces for this very, very tense weekend. Now, in recent weeks, the United Nations Human Rights Council published their report on Gaza. Israel did not participate for the simple reason is that Israel feels that the United Nations mandate is A, already biased, and B, no matter what we say, our testimony is going to be disregarded anyway. And that in fact happened. The UNHRC disregarded the testimony of military experts such as former British Colonel Richard Kemp and others, who stated quite unequivocally that no army ensures or tries to ensure that there are as little civilian casualties as possible. In fact, Colonel Kemp saying that the report can be considered tissue paper. So we can be assured that all eyes, and especially the eyes of the media, will be on the border with Gaza tomorrow to see what will happen in anticipation of this march. Now, it's also a ploy by Hamas to distract from the protests and the outrage that is growing in the Gaza Strip against their leadership. In fact, there has been some footage circulating on social media with a Palestinian woman who is saying that it's enough is enough with Hamas, and she wishes that Israel would finish them for once and for all. So this is the last Israel brief for the week. We hope that we will be in for a quiet weekend, but we are prepared for any and all scenarios. Don't forget that you can check us out online at layoftheland.online, and you can read some of the outstanding articles that have been published this week. And remember, if you have a question or a comment for us, simply write it in the comment section below, and we will take your comments and your questions live on the air. Also, don't forget that you can join our Facebook community at Lot Al Sat. Like us, follow us, and don't forget to invite your friends. And if you want to be part of our database that receives our newsletter, you can send us a direct message either through Facebook or through our website. And hey, if you want more of this Israel brief, simply click on the subscribe button below or on the little bell icon to the side. Wishing you all Shabbat Shalom. May it be a peaceful weekend. I'm Rolene Marks, and this is the Israel Brief.